Hi, welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle. Today we are making one of my husband's favorites. Have you ever bought pickled jalapeños in the grocery store? You know, they sell them in the glass jars with the lids for like $3 or $4. I'm gonna show you how to make them for pennies. All right, so we have a super simple thing for you. Once you've made these, you're gonna be shocked at what you can use them on. You can use them on eggs, egg salad, of course, any Mexican food. But you can also use them on hamburgers. You could dice them and put them on your hot dog. Like literally, you could add these to tons of things. The other thing is you can actually just snack on them. Now, as I go through this, I'm going to show you a couple of different things you can do. First off, obviously, you don't even have to cook them. You could actually, once we have the pickling sauce on them, once you have them sit for a minute, you could jar them and keep them for a while. The boiling of it that we do does make them last for a couple of months in the refrigerator without even having to can them. So without further ado, the first step is we are going to slice our jalapenos, not dice, slice. So you're literally, let's do a couple. Take them and whatever size ring you want, and you are going to keep the seeds. You're not de-seeding or anything like that. Now, in case you didn't know, jalapenos do come in different strengths. Most grocery stores are only going to sell one kind, but I don't know if you've ever paid attention when it's hatch chili season, how they have like mild, medium, and hot. Well, jalapenos come that way too. So the reason I say that is not every jalapeno has the same strength. And so just always a word of caution, especially if you don't like spicy food. This is definitely for the spicy. And I didn't count how many. We'll count. That was 4. This is 6. In case you don't want to weigh your jalapenos, I'll just tell you how many we ended up using. You could use a slicer too if you wanted to, a food processor, if you didn't want to do them by hand. You do want, as you can see, a thicker cut. I'll show you. That's about what you want. You don't want super thin. You could do slightly smaller, but and you can see I'm just making a pile over here. We're going to dump them back in there when we're all done. This will probably date me some point, but these jalapenos were only $1 a pound. So I paid $1 for all of this. My serranos cost me like, I don't know, 25, 35 cents. So this whole recipe, because white vinegar is super cheap, is going to cost us less than $2. And it's going to make a few jars of jalapenos. Always be careful when using a knife. Keep your hand, as you can see, not fingers out, fingers closed. Oh, I lost track. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We had 13, lucky 13 number of jalapenos. Let's dump these back in there. And you could make this and adjust the portions. I'm going to show you with as little as 2. So if you're like, Rochelle, I like those, but gosh, we would take forever to eat that many, just make less. Okay. Now, obviously, I did a 4-to-1 ratio, 1 pound to 1/4 pound. You don't even have to do any serranos. My husband likes them. He likes spicy. You could do half and half. You could do all serrano. Again, it's your party. And we're going to do the same thing with the serranos. We're going to give them a quick dice. When choosing yours at the grocery store, you want to make sure they're hard still. They're not squishy. If they're squishy, they're kind of old. You don't really want that. You want them to be hard. Shape doesn't matter. Color, being light or dark, doesn't really matter either. You don't want anything with bruising on it though either. You can see the serranos I am dicing just a little bit finer. You can see that one. Here's a couple more. If you want to make them all exactly the same, go to knife school or get a food processor. All right, we'll do those 2 last. Okay, all done. We'll put them back in their bowl. Okay. You guys are going to be amazed. That's pretty much it. All we're going to do now is we are going to put these in a pot on the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil. You can boil it for as little as a minute or 2 or as much as 10 minutes. I wouldn't go much more than that. The longer you boil, the softer they will get. So you decide what works best for you. We're going to do about a 5-minute boil on ours today. Okay, and to the jalapenos and serranos, we are adding 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar. And the last ingredients to this is white vinegar and water. Now we want to use equal parts. I just prepped a cup of each. We're going to pour them into the skillet or into the pot, and we need it to cover them, okay? So we're more than likely going to need twice as much as this, but let's see how this works. And that's pretty close, so I'm gonna go again and get a 1/2 cup more water, a 1/2 cup more white vinegar, and we're gonna get that stove going. Perfect. Okay, and then with a spoon, you're just gonna wanna stir that a couple of times. We're gonna let it cook until it's boiling. Again, we are going to boil ours for approximately 3 or 4 minutes. Like I said, minimum is 2, maximum is 10. And if you wanted to have fresh pickled jalapenos that are not cooked, you would need to use those within a week so that they didn't start fermenting. If you do boil them, like I said, for a minimum of 2 minutes, you can keep them in the refrigerator for a few months. All right, they are ready. Let's go get them. All right, so you can see it's still hot, right? We can see that the color has changed. Now, when you're cutting things that are hot, if you have sensitive hands, wear gloves and don't touch your eyes or you'll be crying for a minute or two. Now, the difference between how long I boiled them, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to grab one that I can hold on to because they're hot. Don't burn yourself. All right, so I just want to show you that it does still have some tooth to it, meaning that it's not super soft. So you know how when you cook pasta, you can have pasta al dente, or you could make it cooked more. Same thing with your jalapenos, your pickled jalapenos. And by the way, you could pickle lots of other things. Believe it or not, carrots are amazing pickled. Cauliflower, you wouldn't think so. It's pretty good. You should try it. Also, you can do other things like onions. You don't want to cook the onions. The carrots and cauliflower you do. Other peppers you could do in here as well. You could do habaneros. Definitely use gloves for those though. And what you're simply going to do is take and scoop them into your jars. Now, one note, the jars do have to be glass. So you could either buy some ball jars, or you can reuse an empty jar that you've had from pasta sauce or something else. It just has to be glass, not plastic. It will, or metal. It will oxidize and just make it not taste good. Now, I got out a few different jars because I didn't know for sure how many we would make. These will be gone in a couple of weeks in our house. Let's do this cute guy. And then what we're going to do with the liquid is we're going to pour it into it. You are going to want to keep these refrigerated. They are not store shelf at this point because we did not can them. Now, if you wanted to go through that process, you could, but certainly not necessary. And we are definitely going to get all of these in this last one. We'll put this one aside. I also wanted to show you the lids. You can either have a solid lid or you can have one that has the insert that you can change. It's completely up to you, but definitely everything that is touching this liquid has to be glass. So let me pour a little bit in here. Let me be a good girl and get a measuring cup. And we're just going to pour this liquid into here. Again, you want the liquid to cover the peppers that are in your container, just like so. Oops. And it's okay if you have half of a jar. It's not a problem. Now, I know my husband loves the seeds. If you're not a seed lover, the seeds you do usually sink to the bottom, as you can see. I just try to evenly distribute seeds into jars. And if you don't want them, just pour them down the drain. Now, sometimes there is just a little bit of pickling liquid left over, but usually it's pretty darn close, as you can see. So if you had the right amount to cover them, that is how much is in the jars. And we are going to let these cool before we can put them in the refrigerator. And then, like I said, just feel free to eat them as you go. I am going to let these cool for about a half an hour to an hour, and then I'll see you back here. We'll dig right in. All right, I told you this was simple and easy. And if you use a food processor to cut them, it'll go super fast. Let's grab one. I'm telling you, you can eat them right out of the jar. I hope you enjoy your pickled jalapenos, or like I said, if you try carrots, radishes, cauliflower, broccoli, you could do all kinds of amazing things. If you want some tips on how to make those other kinds of pickled vegetables amazing, just like these, let me know. Thanks for watching What's Cooking with Rochelle. Subscribe below if you love this video, and let me know what else you might like me to make for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.